Well, some of us make takes 2 years ago, and sometimes they turn out all right, and sometimes they turn out terribly. And one of those is that Jurgen Klopp will not win the Premier League title as Liverpool manager. And well, I did give myself a bit of a back out clause in that by saying if they signed Allison, then maybe it'll push them over the edge. But I don't think even I was expecting such a dominance of a Liverpool Premier League winning title season that we've seen from them this year. And of course, yes, if you haven't guessed by now, we are talking about Liverpool being crowned Premier League champions for the 2019-2020 season. It's the first time that Liverpool have won the league title in England for over 30 years, ending years and years and years of hurt at England's top flight. They've also won the Premier League title in the earliest window possible, with 7 games remaining in the Premier League season. And it's also the latest Premier League title win in a calendar year as well, of course, taking place on the 25th of June, under unique circumstances, shall we say. But today we are joined by 2 Liverpool fans that did not think that this was unique in any other circumstances because they have full faith in their teams, Luke Tanner and Joe Stanley. First off, guys, how are you feeling the morning after? I know both of you aren't heavy drinkers and all, but certainly the euphoria of winning the first league title for Liverpool in 30 years must be overwhelming and bring so much happiness to both of you in your lives.
Oh, it's unreal. It's unbelievable. 30 years to win the league title, 24 years for myself. A moment that after a while I was starting to believe it wouldn't happen, especially after 2014. Got so close with the slip, and then last year a point. But when Jurgen Klopp came into the football club, he said, funny enough, in his interview, within 4 years, I'd like to have won a title in this time. And you think about it, 4.5 years on, so in that 4-year threshold, he's brought us the title and he's made dreams come true. I sat there last night, I just can't put words together for how I feel about it. It's the moment I've waited a whole life for, and it's finally here, and it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
It's absolutely fantastic stuff. Of course, one at the game at Chelsea versus Manchester City was enough to give Liverpool the title win after Chelsea won that game by 2-1. Liverpool have also beaten all 19 teams in the Premier League for the first time in their history. Truly, Luke, a historic season for the football club. How does it feel for you, Luke, that your team's finally won the Premier League and become Premier League champions?
It was a bit surreal because obviously we were doing the quiz last night, and I had the game on in the other room, and it's been like a surreal season in general. Obviously, last year losing it out by a point, thinking, is it done? Remember all the pundits going, Liverpool won't get another chance like this again. Like, if they've done it, City are going to dominate now. But I think Pep thought that he was going to go again. Obviously, City lost Laporte, and then City just seemed to disintegrate. Obviously, Liverpool were super efficient this season, but I just felt like City just crumbled. Like, one injury, and that was it. Considering the money that was spent by City, the fact that they didn't really put up much of a fight to retain the Premier League. It's probably one of the poorest title seasons for a defending champions, just to be so limp in attempting to go back to back to back. But yeah, it was just surreal
Indeed, and it was surreal for a lot of Liverpoolians in Liverpool last night. We saw the pictures on the news as well of many Liverpool fans celebrating outside of Anfield until the early hours of the morning. And we had reactions as well from some of the biggest world-known stars around the world. People like LeBron James of the Los Angeles Lakers, of course, a big Liverpool supporter. He's got a shareholder, I think, as well, into the Liverpool Football Club too. And as well, reactions from Samuel L. Jackson, of course, Mace Windu from Star Wars on Twitter as well. So, guys, I want to ask you two, how did you celebrate the title win? Because I know, as I said previously, you two aren't both you're not alcoholic drinkers, so you don't drink alcohol. But yeah, how did you celebrate the title win in your own unique way? Did you binge out on chocolate, or did you just get an early night and wait for tomorrow for it all to sink in?
I think I I think I celebrated it on the quiz last night we did. But after the quiz, no, I literally went straight to bed. Just literally went straight to bed. I don't think it's quite sunk in yet.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll quite sink in yet until COVID's gone, and then obviously when Liverpool can do the street parade, which will be historic.
And fans as well I suppose it depends as to when they're going to lift the trophy. They'll probably lift it in front of an empty stadium at Anfield near the end of the season on the last home game. But Joe, certainly once fans are allowed back into Anfield and to celebrate the title win with Liverpool Football Club as a whole, as a community, as a whole, once more without social distancing, it's going to be a different feeling, I think, to what it is right now. How did you celebrate the title win last night?
Well, last night, obviously, first of all, I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to be ashamed to admit it, shed a tear or two, because it's been that long, and you know what kind of guy I am with the football. It's an emotional sport, and the Liverpool Football Club is my life, you know that. And then I celebrated watching the rest of the BT Sports reaction, and then flicked it onto Sky Sports after that finished. But I sat there on the phone to my mates. I've got lots of mates in Liverpool, so, and a couple of them were heading down to the ground. And so I was on the video call with them last night. To Steve, Rich, and Adam, and Cal. I was talking to all them on the video call last night on the WhatsApp, and we're all having because I couldn't be at Anfield last night. We're all having a good time and good chat, and it's just unreal. I mean, part of the Liverpool fan group on WhatsApp, so we were all messaging throughout the match last night. And to be honest, I can't wait till we're allowed back into the stadiums next season so we can have one massive party, because you do know Scousers know how to party in that city. And you saw that last year at the Champions League parade. I was there as part of that, and obviously when the Premier League parade happens again, I'd look to be part of that once more.
Great stuff, and it's really a monumental achievement that Liverpool fans will be celebrating for years to come. And of course, as we mentioned at the top, it's been 30 years since the last league title. What experiences from that generation have you been told about that league title win, and how it compares to this one this year? What was the what do you think is the main differences between that Liverpool team era and the one that's currently being played at Anfield today? Start off with you, Joe.
It's a strange one, really. I think in 1990 when we won it with Sir Kenny as manager, we didn't think it would be the last league title that Liverpool would win. But obviously they were on the decline slightly coming towards the 90s, and obviously in 92 football changed with the Premier League. But I think Liverpool fans at the time thought maybe there'd be a couple more titles to come. Things didn't work out that way, Premier League, and the way football changed. Liverpool didn't really catch up. They fell behind. Now they finally caught back up. They've got a good set of owners that know how to run a football club financially. Now they don't spend more than they should do. Apply with FFP. They sell to buy sometimes, which they've been criticised for in the past, but they've sorted out the model. They've sorted out the transfer committee. They've brought in a manager who's won stuff abroad in Germany. He transformed Mainz. He transformed Dortmund on a shoestring budget at Dortmund. He's come to Liverpool and he's done pretty much the same thing there. And he's turned Liverpool fans from doubters to believers again, because we were starting to doubt. We've had a little bit of trophies here and there. We hadn't had that big one. We hadn't had that league title. And now that we've done it, it's just unbelievable. And I'll tell you what, it might be a bit extreme, but that man deserves a statue, Jurgen Klopp. Not right now. You know, once he's retired, once he's left the club, I think we should get to work on a statue for that man, because he's done what nobody else. We've had 8 different managers in the Premier League era. We've had Souness, we've had Houllier, we've had Evans before Houllier, we've had Benitez, Roy Hodgson. Let's spell that better. We've had Brendan. We've had Sir Kenny, who come back for a spell. None of them is able to get us back to the pinnacle of English football. took Sir Alex Ferguson 27 years to knock us off our perch, and it's took Jurgen Klopp 4 years to put us back on it. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
well, Luke, Jurgen Klopp certainly has been a very pivotal and very vital for Liverpool's title win, appointed as manager in 2015. How important has he been for you for the development of Liverpool Football Club since taking over in 2015?
I think he's played a major role. Obviously, what Joe said about like the owners, I think under certain managers, I feel like the ownership and the management wasn't really on the same wavelength, not on the same page. I feel like under Klopp, I just feel like everything is just slotted together with the transfer committee, with Michael Edwards, with John W. Henry. I just feel like it's all gelled together. Obviously, when he went to the Europa League final and we lost, then went to the League Cup final, lost, went to the Champions League final, lost, I did feel like, is he going to always be the bridesmaid, but never the bride? But obviously, when he won the Champions League last year, I thought, yeah, he's finally, all the doubters say that Klopp's a final bottler. He likes to lose finals and stuff like that. And obviously, like, he's won the big one. Liverpool's done it the odd way around. They've not won the Prem first. They've won the Champions League first. Then they've won the Prem. So the classic Liverpool way, don't do it properly. They do it the backwards way. And I think winning the title by this points margin, I think Liverpool will end the season with the largest point gap. I just don't see Klopp just go, right, we're going to treat this as pre-season. I think he wants to break more records. There's still more records to break. Most home wins in the season, most away wins, most points, youngest player to win the league. I think Harvey Elliott only needs 3 more games, and then it will be then he'll get a medal. So I feel like Klopp now needs to strengthen whilst we're on top. Like when City first won the league, they, like the summer after, they bought utter crap and just didn't challenge for the league the next season. My only my only fear is that obviously we missed out on Timo Werner. I just hope Klopp's got, and the ownership have got signings in mind to make to strengthen to go on for next season. Because obviously losing out on Werner made me feel a little bit worried. Are the owners not going to put the money on the table to go, you buy what you need to make sure that we retain this title next year? Because for me, obviously, you can't have the trophy parade. I'd actually not have it until the end of next year. And then if you retain the Premier League, that's going to be an even bigger parade.
Certainly would. Yeah, go for it.
Sorry, Conor. And you said about the gap we've had on City this year. It's interesting because 2 years ago we finished 25 points behind Manchester City, and now we're 23 points ahead. And if we beat next week, next Thursday, once we've got the Guard of Honour at the Etihad and all that, the gap will be 26 points.
That'd be so sweet.
If we beat them. It's interesting on the points of the best teams, like the teams like City and United. United won it 3 years in a row at one point, didn't they, in the 2000s?
Mm-hmm.
They won it because they strengthened whilst on top. And I know Liverpool missed out on Timo Werner, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I wouldn't pay a bench player $200,000 a week. And I can see the point with the economic environment at the moment with COVID and everything being uncertain, why we haven't spent £50 million on a bench player. I think the transfer committee have 3-4 targets for each position when they're trying to strengthen. And I know for a fact that some of our key players weren't first choice, but they've turned out to be fantastic and probably the best choice. So
I think Salah was the key example.
Yeah,
I think Salah wasn't first choice.
Let's talk about transfers in the Klopp era then. Which player in the Klopp era that Klopp signed do you think is the most important for Liverpool's Premier League title win? And if they're the same player as well, who do you think's been the most important player this season alone in Liverpool's Premier League title win? If they're the same player, that's fine. But if they're different, then by all means, talk about 2 different players.
Difficult, I think. I think Virgil van Dijk has been the key signing because he was shaky before he come in, and since he's come in, the turnaround in defence has been key. He's had that leadership, organisation, but equally as important, Alisson Becker as well in goal, because the goalkeeper position has been a problem for Liverpool for years. Obviously, Pepe Reina did well, but then when he left, did we really replace him properly with Mignolet? Mignolet was okay, but he wasn't of the same quality. He had the potential, but he never lived up to the potential. And then the less we say about Loris Karius, the better, really, because okay, for short spells, but then when it comes to the big pressure games and the big pressure atmosphere of a cup final, we all know what happened there. So Alisson, Becker and Virgil van Dijk have been key transfers for Liverpool. It's hard to pinpoint just one player for the club this season, because you look at in the various positions, you've got the two fullbacks, which cost pretty much nothing. People say, oh, like we paid $7 million for Trent, but you look at it, we also sold them Kevin Stewart, so technically I count that as like a free because it cancels each other out. So we've got a solid back four. Fabinho was a good signing last season because we never replaced Mascherano when we sold him in 2010. So that position's been filled, and the front three speak for themselves. And with Bobby Firmino, I know some people aren't a fan of him because he doesn't score goals, but that's not the point of Bobby Firmino. Bobby Firmino is the system, he's the key. He does all the running and dogged work, and the other two, who's Salah and Mane, scored the goals and make up for the fact that Firmino doesn't score as many.
Yeah, Firmino lives up to that Jurgen press, doesn't he, in the Liverpool system?
Yeah.
Luke, what about you?
The pitch. But maybe the key you could say is Van Dijk.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with Joe. Probably Van Dijk was the signing that really kicked on the team. I think obviously he came in, scored that winning header in the FA Cup. He thought, oh, what a player. Obviously, was it 2018 we signed him? Obviously, the price tag, 75 million, what you doing, the Dutch Chris Smalling and all that. Best centre-half in the world. He's been that possibly since he walked in at Liverpool. He's definitely the best centre-half in the league by a country mile. No one comes even close to him. But I think, regards to this season, as Joe said, like you can't really pick out one player, really, because it's all been like a team effort. But I think for me, my player of the season has to be Mo Salah, because I watched the Everton game, the first game back, and I thought Liverpool were utter crap. And the key player that was missing was Mo Salah. And I know that Mo Salah gets a lot of stick because obviously he had that great first season. I think Liverpool fans got a little bit excited thinking, oh my God, that's the level he's going to set. He's going to score 40 goals a season. But since then, he's scored like 25, 30 goals a season, which I think most realistic Liverpool fans would think, yeah, that's the level. But it shows how good he is in the side, where when Salah's missing, you obviously see the drop-off. Like this season, no Salah against United away. We draw that game. In Watford, Watford away played that game, so I can't really use that. But Salah's a key person in the attack. Obviously, look at midfield. Henderson, what a season he's had. I know he's not a Rolls Royce on the ball. I know he's not technically the best player in that team, but like the leadership he gives you on the ball, it's obvious that when he does not play, there is a big drop-off in that midfield compared to when he is in there. So I think he's a key component. He probably, with Salah, is my player of the year.
Henderson's
Jordan
key.
Henderson. Yeah.
Henderson's key, and I think he could win PFA Player of the Year because of his leadership quality. It's not just what he's done on the pitch, which Jamie's going to go mental in the years we say that because he doesn't like Jordan Henderson. But he's probably on the plane to Papua New Guinea with Gary Neville at the moment, so who cares?
Oh, I knew that was going.
Yeah, and let's dive into that Manchester United and Liverpool rivalry, because now Liverpool are now only one league title behind what Manchester United have managed to achieve in English football history, 20. Liverpool now on 19 league titles. So despite the fact that Liverpool are behind United in that race, would you say the bragging rights are now in Liverpool and in Merseyside in this Manchester United-Liverpool rivalry between the two teams, or do you think it's still a little bit for Liverpool?
I think it's too early. I think it's too early to say yet, because obviously, if you go saying, "Oh, it's now Liverpool's the biggest club," but United can go, "Well, we've won it 3 times back to back twice." they've won the treble. They've won the Champions League in the same season. So there's this is a good start for Liverpool over the past couple of years. They've won the Champions League, they've won the Premier League. But for me, they've got to retain it. It's all well and good winning it for one season, but to be like an elite team, you've got to retain it next year. So I think that is the biggest priority for Liverpool next year, is to get that number 20 on the board, and then hopefully, because how beautiful will it be if Liverpool retain the league, go for 20, and then the year after could match United's back to back and go above them in league titles. That would be poetic as well. So I think Liverpool's big aim next year is got to retain the title again before the bragging rights could even think about changing over.
What about you, Joe? Bragging rights between Manchester United and Liverpool. Who's got them?
We've got them for the season at the moment because obviously we're champions of England, so we can rub that in their faces, because we've had for years that you've never won the Premier League, yet we still won the same titles, and then they overtook us in 2011, I think it was. Yeah, 2011 they won the 19th, and then obviously 2013 they won the 20th. But in terms of major trophies overall, Liverpool are the most decorated club in English football, with 48 major honours to Manchester United's 45. And we could still yet add to that. We've won 3 trophies again this season: Super Cup, Club World Cup, Premier League. What more do you want than that?
Treble. Our version of the treble.
Our version, the international treble, you could argue. But the thing is, it's one of those arguments that's going to roll on through the years. Manchester United aren't competing this season, but with a couple of signings and a couple more years, they could compete. I don't think they'll be up there next season. I hope this doesn't come back to bite me saying that. But I think...
well, mate, sometimes things do come back to bite you.
Yeah.
No, so...
In a couple of seasons, if they make the right choices, the right investment, and get certain players with certain attitudes, the wrong attitudes out of the football club, and get the hard-working attitudes in like Liverpool have done, they could be competing again, and we could be having, like we've had with City the last couple of years, Liverpool City back to the title. It could be a three-way tussle. It could be Merseyside versus the 2 Manchester clubs. We never know. But it's one of those. It's going to be one of those one of those debates that's going to go on for years. Who's bigger, Liverpool, Manchester United? They are the 2 biggest clubs in English football.
Yeah.
One camp says Liverpool, one camp says Manchester. For me, it's Liverpool, but I am slightly biased. So.
All right, Luke, you just briefly mentioned on a potential title win again for Liverpool next season, but let's go to Joe for this one, and then we'll come back to you, Luke, for your thoughts as well, to round off the video. Joe, I even said it then. Joe, can Liverpool repeat what they've done this season and win the Premier League title again next season? Only one team has managed to do that in the last 10 years, that being, of course, Liverpool's closest rivals this season, Manchester City. Do you think Liverpool can go ahead and win the Premier League title in the 2020-2021 season?
Yes, but I can't wait to see them get their medals first for this season.
How did you get hold of that?
There's an account on Twitter called LSC Medals, and they've made them Premier League medals, reasonable price as well. I think, Liverpool will win it next season. It's going to be closer next season. City will invest heavily in the summer, unless they get obviously done with FFP, depending on that case. So that's a debate for another time. I think we have got a solid squad. We've got a good squad. Next season, we need to win more than just the league title, in my opinion, as well. I think we should try for a domestic trophy. If not the Champions League, we should go for the domestic, because Jurgen Klopp's won the Champions League, he's won the Premier League now. He's just missing the 2 domestic clubs in England. So hopefully we'll go for one of them as well. And I do think with a couple of signings, we are set for a couple of years to come. So maybe a cover for the forward positions, because there is the drop-off on the bench, as Luke said before. If Salah, Mane or Firmino's out, we drop down to Divock Origi, who's not a bad player, but he's not in the same bracket as the other 2. And it can tell at times. He's great coming on as an impact sub, but when he starts games, he's not so good. So I think a couple of signings this summer, depending on, obviously, financial situation, who leaves the door as well.
Yeah.
Liverpool Football Club will be up there again next season. But it's going to be interesting to see, and I think it will be a lot closer.
What about you, Luke? Can Liverpool repeat and win the title again next season?
Yeah, of course they can. Obviously, I don't imagine the gap to be as big as it was this year, because it was a ridiculous gap. But obviously with COVID, I think the market's going to change a bit. I feel like the only clubs that are going to be able to pull their weight around will be City, United. But I feel like with Liverpool, I feel like they can be a little bit more savvy. Obviously, they're not afraid to buy players from teams that have got relegated. Gini Wijnaldum, Robertson. And if you look at the bottom three, there's some quality to get there for cut prices like Norwich going down, Bundia, Jamal Lewis. We need cover at left back. Obviously, we need to strengthen that forward area. Hey, if West Ham get relegated, I'd take a Felipe Anderson to sit on the bench for Liverpool. But obviously, if you're looking for more ambitious signings, I'd be looking at players who are going to go in their last year of their contract. And like my number one target for the summer, if I'm Liverpool, would be Bukayo Saka from Arsenal, because we need left back cover. I don't like James Milner at left back. I don't like James Milner at full back, full stop. There was rumours that Klopp might trust Larouci. I wouldn't trust him personally. I'd rather get an older person who's a specialist left back, or get someone like a Bukayo Saka who you can nurture to become that Robertson understudy or Robertson replacement should he move on. And plus, he's showed no signs that he's going to sign a contract at Arsenal. So either he waits it out a year and then comes on a free, or Liverpool pick him up for a cut price fee in this summer. But I do think Liverpool will strengthen, but I think they'll go for like your Minamino type signings at a really cut price.